Hey there, everybody. I hope all of you are having a good day. This is like the third time I've started this video. So I hope that I'm going to be able to get through it. The yard people came to the yard across the street. And it was like, I was just beginning to talk, and so the yard people showed up across the street, and then my farmer called, and we had to have a chit-chat about this, that, and the other. But I hope that all of you are doing good today. I've got a couple new journals to go in the shop, so we're going to show and tell these, and then we will show and tell two more. So I've actually got 4 new journals heading for the Etsy shop today. Thank you guys so much for your kindness and support over at Etsy. I'm just so delighted that you're liking what we're creating, and I hope that it enhances your art life, because that's kind of what these books are all about. I'm not sure what we're going to call these, but they'll be over at the shop. I'm kind of like toying with different ideas, because to me these 2 books really do remind me of India. Especially this one, this fabric is just absolutely beautiful. Kind of reminds me of a prayer flag or something. It's just really exquisite. Gotta thank Miss C, who sent us some fabric to work with, which is delightful after my debacle last week of trying to bump out the 10 by 10 pieces that I had. I also did like this big clean of kind of a decluttering of my fabric pieces that I've had, and so I did discover some new fabrics, even in my stash. Yay! There's something really good about cleaning out your stash, because you find things that you didn't know you had. This book is about 5 inches thick. It does have a nice thick stretchy string on it, so it's kind of squished down. I really love the bead spawn, you guys. It really turned out well with using the combination of wooden beads as well as these glass beads, these plastic beads. It just really did turn out really nicely. Let's take a look at what we have. And of course, like we were talking about, a flow journal is all about taking these elements. I've had people go, oh, I just can't mess up that book. I just can't take things out of it. Peoples, it's for taking out. It's for disassembling and reassembling. You've got pockets, so you can always store things in the pockets, of course. You can take out these awesome little creative clusters. This one is called Road Trip, and it's all about going places. Of course, we're not going places right this minute, but you know what? That's okay. I love these pieces that kind of harken back. This was a magazine about the 70s. Maybe this will remind you of places that you like to eat in the 70s. One of my favorite places to eat when I was dating my husband was this place in Charlotte, and it was called Barbecue King. And I think we all kind of have those those memory enhanced, those food memories that we can kind of look back on. So Barbecue King is one of and it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri. I think that was like several years ago. Anyway, it is still there. I do not know if it's still there now. I just kind of thought about that. It might not be there anymore. I sure do hope, because they were a non-drive. You could not dine in. So you pull up to the curb, and you have, the menu thing and the speaker box there, and you order your food, and then they bring it out to you. It was just always fun. Kind of like, what's that modern equivalent? Sonic, like a Sonic drive-in. So maybe they did survive. I'll have to ask Mom about that, because often my brother will go to Barbecue King and get my mama and daddy barbecue. Oh my gosh, they have like the best onion rings in the whole wide world. Their coleslaw is excellent. Everything that comes out of that place is really good. So, we have a lot of things that call us to remember you know, our food memories. And you can even do like a little, you know, a little recapitulation, you know, how we're fond of doing that, and we're remembering our food memories from like the 50s, the 60s. My mom is always really fond of reminding me that I love olives. They're one of my favorite foods, and my grandma would allow me to stand at her refrigerator and eat olives until I couldn't eat anymore, which for me was like a whole jar of olives. And, you know, I was the first grandchild, so I was kind of indulged with my olive habit. But, you know, that's kind of an odd thing for a child to like is olives, but I love them, and I still love them to this day. This is a really sweet creative cluster kit. It's called Dark Botanical, and I was very inspired by a paper pad that I bought last week at Michael's when they had that big paper pad sale called Dark Botanical. So you have purplish elements, a lot of black, a lot of floral on black, which I really am intrigued by that, you know, by that color scheme. I just think it's very, very interesting. Miss Michelle sent us a lot of things to play with. Miss Bev sent us a lot of things to play with. I have an extraordinary envelope of vintage greeting cards, guys. I'm going to show that to you. I can't read the last name on this. It did come from Linda in the UK, but I can't get the last name. But anyway, it is absolutely extraordinary. We have Mr. Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. This is a photograph taken in 1973, and I thought the Al Green on the Mike Douglas show, along with Jimmy Page, along with this vintage piece of a Negro spiritual, was really cool. This is from a history book, okay? So when I put things in these books, to me, it encapsulates a period of time. So anytime that you see a piece of history in these books, I hope that you want to learn more about that history, you know, as it applied to that era, as well as it applies to the era that we are living in currently. So we have some photographs of doggies, and I really love those. Some of our clever ladies have been sending along calendars. You know, everybody's kind of clearing their 2019 calendars, you know, and the 2020 calendars, of course, are being sold for like a deep discount. And calendars are so rich with, you know, with imagery, with dates and numbers. So anytime you run across a good sale on calendars, man, scoop those things up, because they really do make a fun items to work with in flow journals. This says Paul McCartney. I'm sure that is not, this is a picture of the Beatles. This is not like anything authentic. It's just a reprint. And there's Robert Plant. We'll just pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. There he is. Okay. Proceeding right along. Got magazine cutouts for you. I really love the way that this looks. You know, we can see the ocean out here. We can see a lot of development on this ocean inlet. I think that's way overdeveloped, but you know, it would be kind of fun to live somewhere like this and be able to, you know, walk on down to the beach. My friend Adrienne lives on Key West, and she can walk to the beach, and even though she had horrific, just, you know, devastating, was that Irma? That's not right. Irma, I can't remember the last hurricane that just wiped everything out in Key West. It wiped out her entire house, and she worked for years to reestablish her home, bless her sweet little heart, and she's a musician. This is Step Back in Time. So we have these an old photograph here of a dapper gentleman with probably his sweetheart, and old buttons and all kinds of, these are ration coupons, which I thought was just amazing. And if you are curious about what is inside the creative clusters, I will put a little iCard up here so you can view the video where I show you what is in each creative cluster. When these 4 books are in the shop today, that's it. That's the end of our 6th creative cluster. I do a batch of 6 every week, and those are the journals that go in the shop that week. I love these. I love food photography. I could eat all that right now because I'm like starving. I'm very hungry. This is the Seafoam Motel in Nag's Head. This is one of those super old motels, been there for years and years. Everything has beauty. Remember, you do have a lot of, look at this beautiful, this is Singer Sewing, the Singer Sewing book that was sent to us by our sweet Miss R. Miss R, we're always thinking about you, dear. We're always thinking about you, and we're thinking about Miss Kim, who has been in the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks and is finally scheduled to get out. This is creative cluster. It's called Bright, and that's just exactly what it is. I really like this imagery altogether. These are skates, and these are feet in sandals with, looks like a nice pedicure going on here. This is Nature Walk. And I've got a little feather in here because sometimes when you go on a nature walk, you might find a feather. Nature Walk was kind of inspired by Jane Austen. Elizabeth loved to walk. You know, Miss Bennet, Elizabeth Bennet loved to walk. She's very fond of walking. Even if her hem is 3 inches deep in mud, as was pointed out to her. Which interestingly, Mr. Darcy said that her cheeks were flushed and she was, what did he say? That it enhanced her complexion because she was flushed with walking to see her sister. I love this imagery. It says power. There's a lady DJ right there. I love her tiara. I think it's very beautiful. Lots of papers, lots of journal prompts, lots of cards, art trading coins, magazine images, and we're finishing out this book with Coastal Mermaid. Again, I'm going to put an iCard up here so you can see what is in each journal. So there we go. Let's get this one out. Again, I love this fabric. It's kind of like a prayer flag. It's really, really pretty. Again, a sweet little bead spawn. I thought that one turned out really well. Especially, I love these stones that are drilled through. And these are real stones. I think they're so gorgeous. Blessed to have some so blessed to have a lot of beads to work with at the moment. Thanks for sending me your derelict jewelry so I can break it apart and use it. This is a piece from National Geographic, June 1960. It's an old Coca-Cola ad. I think that's really super cool. 1853 report to Congress on agriculture. Very interesting. I love things like this because it reminds me of, you know, when Mom called you in the summertime and made you a sandwich and maybe some potato chips. What kind of sandwich did you have? We would have bologna. Mama was really excited to find beef bologna because she hasn't been able to find it since March. When we were called into lunch, we would have lunch and then we were expected to take a nap. And I was not a napper even then. I did though, you guys. Monday I took a nap. I had been getting up really, really early in the morning because it gets so hot in the studio during the day that I was up and working like at 5:30. But man, by 2:30, 3 o'clock, I'm done for. I mean, stick a fork in me. I am done. So I did take a nap that day and I was like, wow, might be something that I might entertain doing a little bit more, because it really made me feel a whole lot better. It gave me a lot of energy. Look what I found, you guys. I found this in, I think this was in Miss Ida's collection of vintage greeting cards. I just think that that is really, really precious. It's a family with a new baby. Food imagery for you. I love good food imagery. A little bit of mandala work. So, you know, fun. What did you have for lunch when you were a child? You know, did you have Fritos with your sandwich? Did you have something different? You know, did you, Chef Boyardee, did you have like the ravioli in the can or the spaghetti in the can? Let's have spaghetti in the can. We would have spaghetti in the can sometimes. This is the Dark Botanical Creative Cluster. This is a fun, like, little article about a haunted mine, again from a history book. This is the Iroquois Arithmetic book. The Singer Guide to Sewing. I dug cutting out birds the other night, y'all, and I thought the bird imagery just really did go with the stained glass cathedral imagery. So nice. A vintage Dennis the Menace piece. It says, if I sit here an extra 15 minutes, can it count for some extra credit? I always love to watch Dennis the Menace on TV. Kind of one of my favorite things. Along with, I loved Hazel. And I loved I Dream of Jeannie, Gilligan's Island, the Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres. Man, think about that. You know, TV was so great. You didn't have like that warning that says sex, nudity, violence, offensive language, smoking, whatever. You know, it's all good, clean fun. My mom and dad do not have, this is such a fun cluster to put together. My mom and dad don't have cable. And she's like, I don't want it. I don't want cable. I don't want to see all that. So they, you know, she called the other day, and she called at 4:30, which I usually call her at 5 o'clock. She said, I can't talk to you at 5 o'clock because there's an Andy Griffith special on. I was like, well, you go, Mama. You go watch your Andy Griffith. Young Bruce Springsteen. Isn't that awesome? And, of course, James Brown. This is a little piece about women's suffrage. And I thought this picture of Churchill with this cathedral really kind of went well together. You know, a little slice of the UK for you. This is road trip. Got all kinds of fun road trip imagery and travel imagery. Put all my past away. And this is nature walk. I'm really, really fond of collaging on magazine pieces. And so this is a magazine piece collage right here. And this kind of reminded me, I don't think my shelves look like, they don't. Just admit it, Tammy, your shelves don't look like that. This is Stefania Agasolina. I thought this was really interesting because it was a woman painter in 1556. I love the dog imagery together. Kitty cat imagery. Kitchen imagery. This is, it's vellum, but it's a sticker. It says dream, believe, and there's a sticker right here as well. This is, I thought that this was really cool. You know, these feetsies are in a sudsy tub, so we're feeling better. You might want to use that as a journal prompt. What are you doing to make yourself feel better, to feel more positive? You know, we're in that thing of opening, back up, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing. Gonna go into phase 3. Oh, nope. Thought we were, but we're not. It's just it's like massive amounts of confusion. What are you doing, my friends, to make yourself feel better? What are you doing? Doesn't have to be anything major. Can be something small and minor to make yourself feel better. Punch and John, again, from the 70s. We have Laverne and Shirley and Columbo over here. Houses and homes and settings always interest me. You know, if you're thinking dream home or anything like that, it's fun to, you know, to consider things like that. But, you know, if you've got a roof over your head and 4 walls, that's a dream home, my friends. That is a dream home. We've got our Coastal Mermaid package right here, our little creative cluster kit. I hope you enjoy it. Love the thoughts of mermaids. These are so beautiful. It is a tribe in Haiti that does this exquisite style of dress. Absolutely beautiful. We've got some kitty cats and moths right here. You know, again, a lunch combo. Cookies. Chris said, you know, something about cookies. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember having cookies a lot when I was growing up. I remember having cookies at Bible school, which is another thing that won't be happening this year. I remember Bible school meant lukewarm Kool-Aid and the cookies, those butter cookies that had the hole in it that you put your finger in and you just eat off your finger. Do you remember that? I loved Bible school. I thought it was so much fun. Do you know why it was so much fun? Was it about the Bible? Yes, but that wasn't the fun part. Was it about learning? Yes. But that wasn't the mostest fun part. The mostest fun was making the stuff with the macaroni, right? So any kind of art project that you got to do, I was dead into. This is our Step Back in Time package right here. Got some really sweet imagery right there. Don't you love that piece? I think that is super cool. And it is like antique-y and all vintagey. And I did not scrub it. It's really cool. It's got like a patina on it. So neat. And as well as this awesome, like, I think that's a metal button up there. Super cool. Okay, guys, I will get these in the shop a little later on today. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I hope that you are having a spectacular Thursday. I'll be back with another video for our last 2 in our collection this week, and I will talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.